Hello, we are live. So if you are watching the replay later, thank you very much for joining me. My name is Anniken and I'm just going to see if anyone's going to join us live. It takes a few seconds for Instagram to tell people. So we've got people sent to join us. Thank you very much for coming. We'll just give everyone a few seconds to get on and then I will get on chatting. So we've got people joining quite quickly. Thank you. Tell me where you're watching from tonight. I'm in Cornwall in the southwest of England. Did you watch all last night's lives? I was out last night, so I'm still catching up. Anyway, I'm going to crack on because I haven't got that much time. I've got lots to say. I like talking, so thank you very much for joining me. My name is Anniken and I'm YarnAddict Annie on Instagram. So if you have any questions for me after this, then do go over and find me at YarnAddict Annie. My website is yarnaddict.co.uk. And my name is Anniken. As I said, I live in Cornwall in the southwest of England, but I'm originally from Norway. I design knitting patterns. I've been designing knitting patterns and teaching knitting workshops for about nearly 15 years now, so a long time. I have my own self-published patterns, but I also design a lot for magazines and yarn companies. So you may have seen my patterns in magazines like The Knitter, Simply Knitting, Knitting, and Let's Knit, plus a few American magazines. Young companies and that kind of thing. So I'm quite busy. I've also written a couple of books, so I thought I would tell you about my books first. So my first book was Beaded Lace Knitting. That came out a few years ago and it has 25 patterns and they vary from shawls, loads of shawls, but they're also hand warmers, garments, scarves. So it's not all shawls, but it is a lot of shawls. And then at the beginning of the book, there are really clear how-to photographs and all the things that you need to know. This book, it starts with the slightly simpler patterns, but if you are brand new to lace knitting, this may be a little bit challenging. So if you are brand new to lace knitting, then I do recommend my second book, which is called Easy Lace Knits. This one has 20 patterns. Again, a lot of shawls, but there are poncho, sweaters, hand warmers, there's scarves, there's a blanket. So there is a combination, there are a variety of things. Again, at the beginning of the book, it has clear photos with how-to stuff. So all the techniques you need to knit all the patterns in the book are at the beginning of the book. And the book starts with the easiest patterns first, and then it gradually gets more difficult as you go through the book. But if you are new to lace knitting, this book is ideal. I only have a couple of copies left, but I will be ordering more, and of course you can get it on places like Amazon. But I've got 15% off at the moment in my yarn shop. So all orders from yarnaddict.co.uk, you can get 15% off with the code Cambridge2022. I also teach online courses, so I've got 5 online courses. See if I can remember them all. Successful Lace Knitting, which is a huge course, a really, really big bumper course. Scandinavian stranded colourwork and steeking, so you get the cut your knitting. Continental knitting with Norwegian purl and continental purl, and finishing techniques, and my Aventura sock course, which will be renamed Successful Socks in the next couple of months. My online courses are also 15% off at the moment, and they are pre-recorded, and you sign up and then you got access to them forever. So you can watch them as many times as you want, you can dip in and out, you can come back to them and things like that, and I'm there to answer any questions you have. So all of they are pre-recorded and you watch them in your own time. I'm still there to answer questions. I will also be launching some live online classes sometime this month, starting in March. So if you sign up to my newsletter at yarnaddict.co.uk, you will be the first to know when those live online classes are ready. I also teach in yarn shops around the UK, mainly in the southwest, but occasionally I get around a bit to Midlands and South Wales and London and places like that. And if you run a yarn shop or a knitting group and you'd like me to come and teach, do let me know. I teach quite a wide variety of subjects. So I've just got to keep an eye on the time so I don't run over. So this design here on my dress form is my latest design. It is called Trenant, and it starts with a triangle at the back here, and then it continues into these 2 long wings on the side. And this is knitted in a yarn called Sauberperlen. If I can just drape that over there so it looks nice in my picture. Right, there we go. This is live. Let's just dump that there for a minute. So this is knitted in a yarn called Sauberperlen. It takes 2 of these rings. They're little mini skeins. There's 7 of them. And they come in a variety of colour. You can see some of the colours behind me here. And it's a really fun yarn. I also have, and you need 2 of those rings for the Trenant shawl. All my patterns are available on Payhip and Ravelry, and the links to those are in my Instagram bio or on my website. You can find the links as well. Another pattern I have with the same yarn. This is Coverack. I always forget the names on my designs, so I just had to check the label. This is Coverack, and again, I haven't got the colour anymore for that one, but it uses 2 of these rings. But I haven't got this colour at the moment. But it takes full advantage of those gradients. These patterns are also really good if you've got mini skeins. So loads of indie dyes are doing mini skein sets at the moment. So if you've got any of those, or maybe like a mini skein advent calendar, these patterns are really, really good because the lace is simple, taking into account the fact that you change in colour a lot. And they're also very good for slightly variegated colours, which can be a bit tricky with lace sometimes. Another pattern I released last autumn is this lovely shawl, which is a triangle. It's fairly simple, work from the top down, ideal if you're new to lace knitting. It's called La Caleta, and it's named after one of my favourite beaches in Spain, and I was actually knitting it when we were in Spain last summer. It takes 1 of these. This is not the right colour. It's a Sauber flower from Shawls. I do stock some Shawls yarns in my online shop, and this is Sauber flower, and it's 150 gram, 600 meters, and it takes 1 of these. We'll knit 1 of these. So I've got a few of those on my website, not too many, but a few of those on my website. So that's La Caleta. If you fancy something very, very simple, if you're new to lace knitting, I've got my I'm really bad at remembering names tonight. Dear, dear, dear. Dakota shawl. I was going to call it Daisy, and I thought that's not right. It's the Dakota shawl. So this is an asymmetrical triangle. It is quite small because it's just 100 grams, 400 meters of stock yarn, 4-ply yarn, but it fits quite nicely as a little scarf under your coat. And this one takes 1 ball of Sauber ball or Sauber ball 100. So they are these little fun balls of colour. They come in amazing colours, loads of different colours. If you are sensitive to wool, Shop will also do a yarn called Sauber ball cotton. So it's the same fantastic colours, self-striping colours that you get in the Sauber ball yarns, but it's 100% organic cotton, and it's really nice. I'm not that keen on cotton yarns, but this is really lovely. And I do have some patterns that I've knitted up specifically in the Sauber ball cotton. Oops. Right, let's just check the time so I don't go over time. This is Port Quinn, another asymmetrical triangle with some crisscross stitches. If any of you did Stephen Westnett's mystery shawl last autumn, he had some crisscross stitches. Well, this shawl has crisscross stitches all over it. This is one of my favourite shawls to wear at the moment. It fits really nicely under my coat, like that. So that is Port Quinn, and I've also got another shawl knitted in the same yarn. This one, which is called, I've forgotten what it's called, somewhere in Scotland. Moray Firth, I can't remember, but it's really nice. Quite big, it's knitted in 200 grams. So I knitted it in the Sauber ball cotton, but you can use the regular Sauber ball as well. So whether you prefer cotton or wool, you know, you just choose the yarn you want. Can't remember what that was called. I'll put a post on my Instagram later. But this is I don't just do lace, I also do colour work. This is my Cloudberry cowl, and it is double-sided, but it has stripes on the inside. Cloudberries are little berries that grow in the mountains in Norway. They are they look a bit like raspberries, but they're yellow, orangey yellow, and they're really nice, especially if you whip cream and then fold them in with the cloudberries for cloudberry cream. It's really, really nice. We had that when I went to Norway at Christmas. We also had that for our wedding reception when I got married 30 years ago. So this is the cloudberry cowl, because these motifs reminded me of the cloudberry flowers, the flower before you get the fruit. So this is the cloudberry cowl, and this takes 100 grams of each colour and is a 4-ply yarn. So it's, I knitted it in Lang Merino 200. So you need a yarn that has 400 meters per 100 gram, and you need 100 grams of each colour. But that's really nice, and it's really warm as well. Right, let's look at some other yarns, other patterns I mean. This is my Fistral shawl. So Fistral, very popular surfing beach in Cornwall. This is my Fistral shawl. It's an asymmetrical triangle, but it's less asymmetric, if that makes sense. Very difficult to show things on Instagram live and stories and things. It is less it's knitted sideways, but it's less asymmetrical than a lot of asymmetrical triangles. There's a lot of garter stitch, a little bit of beaded lace on one edge and a little bit of lace down here. So it's fairly simple. So if you're new to shawls, this is quite good. And this is also knitted in one of these, or you can also use the Sauber ball. So the Sauber ball and the Sauber flower yarns are exactly the same. It's just that one is 100 grams, 400 meters, and that one is 150 grams, 600 meters. A lot of information, isn't it? And this one also comes in a lace version called lace ball, a lace ball 100, and this one comes in a lace version called lace flower, which has 1200 meters per 150 gram, and this one has, the lace ball version has 800 meters per 100 grams. A lot to remember. Anyway, this one is knitted in my lace ball. It's a very fine lacy poncho, worked from the top down. Let me just put it on. It's kind of like a floaty peacock colourway. There are beads on the edging. I do like adding beads to my stuff, and I do have loads of tutorials on my website. So if you're new to adding beads to your knitting, I have tutorials on my website for how to add beads using the crochet hook method on my website, and I also have loads of lace tutorials there as well. So I'm going to log off in a minute, so just very quickly, this one, that's right, thank you very much. This is the Spey Bay shawl. Thank you. I remember it was somewhere in Scotland. I couldn't remember where. We're going back up to Scotland this year in November, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you for jogging my memory. Anyway, I've got a discount for you, so you can get 15% off YarnAddict.co.uk. So that includes all my yarns, my books, everything, and my online courses until 13th of February, and 25% off all my patterns from Payhip and Ravelry. It's all valid until the 13th of February, and the code is Cambridge 2022. So Cambridge 2022. All the links and everything are on my website, YarnAddict.co.uk, and all the information is also on my website. And I'm going to have to log off so the next person can log on in time. So thank you very much for joining me. If you didn't join us at the beginning, you can watch the replay on the Cambridge Yarn Festival account in a few minutes, and I hope you'll join me over at Yarn Addict Annie. Oh, I'm also on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel as well where I post regular tutorials, knitting product reviews, and my fortnightly podcast. So do join me there as well. Find all the links in my Instagram. Anyway, I better log off. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again. Bye.